Let's now connect with the management of NTPC, Mr. Arup Roy Chaudhary, Chairman and Managing Director of NTPC, who joins us from New Delhi. Mr. Chaudhary, good morning and thank you for joining us. It was a turmoil in the markets for NTPC yesterday. The stock took a knock of about 10% plus on adverse impact of the CRC draft guidelines. What is your initial assessment of the same?
We were also pretty surprised when the shares tanked, and we were actually not very clear as to how the analysts were looking at it. When we looked at the draft, we realized that there is absolutely win-win situation for us in all the factors. You know, the return on equity has been retained, the additional ROE has been retained, the schedule for completion of the project has also remained unchanged. Special allowance for operating stations has increased to 7.5 lakhs from 5 lakhs last time. Water charges, which was a major demand for us, has now become passed through. Annual escalation on O&M expenses increased from 6.35% to 5.72%. The compensation on rupees lakhs per megawatt per year in lieu of ad cap has also increased. Then, you know, if you see the pay revision has been recognized. The late pay surcharge increased from 1.25 to 1.5%. So all these are positives.
So, Mr. Chaudhary, what were the key concerns you think might be on the minds of analysts? What were the reasons, according to you, that led to the crash in the stock?
So we tried to look at the reason probably why the market responded that way. Then we found out that probably 2-3 issues which has been put in the draft. And here I would, through you, like to draw reference to the analyst to the draft of 914. What was the draft of 914 and what actually happened in 914? So I would like you to draw to that reference. So we found that, you know, there has been some tweaking done in the heat rate and specific oil consumption. So we realized that the same kind of tweaking was done in 914 draft also. And ultimately we were able to go and explain to them that actually, you know, with the Indian quality of Indian coal, the machines that we run, it's not possible for what they're trying to achieve. And what they're trying to talk about is not only for NTPC machines. Machines are run all over India by different operators. So, you know, we are quite confident that this will be resolved. There's one issue in which I feel seriously that it is by mistake, where the PLF has been considered as against PAF. The whole model for any power developer is to make its machine available on designated fuel. Now, if there is no buyer for the power, it is not the fault of the developer that he has invested money in setting up the project. So therefore, that also we are very, very confident will get reversed. So I am absolutely confident, going by precedence also, in the last 2 regulation drafts and what it has happened today, that in the course of discussion, we will be able to convince the ERC on these issues. And I'm absolutely convinced that 30% of electricity we generate, I do not think the regulator is trying to demotivate a generator which generates 30% electricity.
What about the impact of tweaking tax arbitrage related norms? Key brokerages have indicated a hit of about 10 to 14% to NTPC's earnings if the draft guidelines are implemented as such.
No, if you ask the specific issue on this, on the tax issue, if you look at last year's draft, there was no tax issue in that. We actually represented to CRC, we convinced them that this is an incentive which is required for the investment which is being made. Now, because it was not in last year's draft, CRC might have felt that this is something which was not there in last year's draft, and therefore they have removed it. But I'm sure, again like last year, we will be able to sit with them and we will be able to get it through. Idea again being that CRC is actually wanting to encourage companies like mine to make investment and in that method allowing us to give good returns to people who invest in company like mine.
Investors, needless to say, Mr. Chaudhary, are spooked with these regulations. How are you looking to tackle this matter? Do you concur with the gloom brokerages foresee as a result of CERC's report?
No, at the moment, I don't think we are at all worried on that. The draft has only come yesterday. We have seen the draft. We are still going through it. It's on a consultative stage. It is only a draft. We are confident that like every 5-year plan, like 914, like whatever we did, we have been able to convince CERC on the importance of this, on the importance of supporting NTPC, on the importance of seeing that a company which generates 30% power of the country is encouraged to generate the power. In turn, we encourage our investors. So I'm quite confident through you. I want to communicate to all my investors. They should not be at all, they should have nothing in their mind. We will clarify all this and I will request them to wait till the final orders come.
So when does the consultation process with the CERC begin? And how confident are you that the draft guidelines will not be finalized in the present format? Because what you've been indicating is just a belief, it's a view.
Well, you know, a draft is not a final thing. So if it was finalized, it would not have been draft. I'm confident because of past precedents. The previous drafts are also there for you to see. Finally, what was the final order also is there for you to see. So I'm quite confident that we will be able to discuss with them. Answering your first question, I think this is implementable from 1st April 2014. So I expect by February, March, things will be discussed and finalized, and will be ready to be implemented by 1st of April 2014.
Okay, Mr. Chaudhary, thanks for the clarifications. Really appreciate you taking the time out and speaking with us.